Good afternoon. This is Kara with NCFlex, and we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I don't know if we'll have a ton of people join today because I know it's a snowy day in North Carolina, so some people may be out with their kids or playing in the snow with their animals, or maybe just chilling. Um, Today we're going to talk about first of year benefit reminders when it relates to NC Flex benefits, your supplemental benefits through us. And I'll also have some other pieces of information for you on other benefits you might have that might be helpful to you here in January, starting out at the beginning of the year. We do record these sessions so you can go back and watch it later if you need to, or we'll share it with those who, it'll be posted on our website, but those who missed today's session can also listen back. This is our agenda. We're going to talk about checking your pay stubs to look at your benefit premiums, benefit changes for 2025. So what changed this year that you might want to pay attention to, flexible spending account reminders, updating your beneficiaries because you can do that anytime during the year. Mid-year benefit changes. So if you have a life event in the middle of the year and need to make changes to your benefits, wellness benefit reminders, 1099s you may receive, helpful benefit websites and who to contact outside of our benefits, and then some trending NC Flex questions towards the end. We do have a Q&A, so feel free to ask a question anytime. We may answer it in the chat or out loud, but that's available anytime you want to ask a question. And you should have received the reminder for today, which included a link to these slides. And so when you see a link on the slide, then if you have the slides, you should be able to get to that link. But I'll also post it in the chat just so you guys can have it if you don't. Maybe didn't keep that email or want to access it before you can find it. Let's see. Because you might find some of these links helpful. So slides. So the chat's a little bit different than the Q&A. I think it only lets me post in the chat, but the Q&A is where you can post stuff. So if you look in the chat, you'll see the link to the slides. So checking your premium deductions, when you're looking in your HR portal at your pay stub, you want to be checking for things like, did all of the benefits I signed up for, are they all coming out? The amounts are going to be more important when you're looking at maybe flexible spending account amounts, because whatever you chose is going to be divided equally among your pay periods. If you're paid 12 times, it's divided by 12 for the flexible spending accounts. If you're paid semi-monthly, it's typically divided by 24, even if you're paid 26 times. But the times when the premium amounts are going to matter, like I said, is with flexible spending accounts. And then with like life insurance and critical illness, if your age bracket went up, whatever age you are on January 1st would determine what those premiums are for critical illness and life insurance. And also with life insurance, if you increase that amount, then you'll want to just take a look to see if that premium changed. You can check our rates on our website on ncflex.org in the enrollment guide section. And if you applied for life insurance that was over the guaranteed issue amount or more than they allow you to increase each year, you may still be waiting for them to approve your medical questions or your EOI, evidence of insurability. And if you're waiting for that to be approved, then you may not see the updated premium quite yet. But once you are approved, like if you did apply for more life insurance than is allowed for the guaranteed issue, and this is more so for non-university employees. University employees, you do have life insurance through the university system. But if you did apply for more life insurance through us and you know you had to do an EOI, when you get approved, you should receive a letter in the mail saying you're approved, and then you'll want to be on the lookout for that premium increase in your check. Okay. But in general, when you're looking at your pay stub for January, when you chose your benefits in October, whether you made changes or you kept them the same, those become effective January 1st. And you can look in your enrollment system to see what you made changes to if you don't remember. You can start by going to shpnc.org/ebenefits. Choose the group that you're with. If you're with the university system, you're going to have two different enrollment platforms, and non-university, you'll just have one. University systems and some other locations, you may have a single sign-on to the enrollment platforms directly from your HR portal. So that's probably another way you can go. Those of you who use Fiori, you have a link to e-benefits directly from your Fiori page. And it's the e-benefits link, not the My Benefits link. So you can go on there, see what you chose for 2025 if you don't remember or didn't print a confirmation statement. For university employees, like I mentioned, when you go to that shpnc.org/ebenefits, you would click universities, and then you'll select the university, your university under the Empyrean header to look at NCFlex benefits. You'll go to the e-benefits header to look at your state health plan benefits. Also, for the state health plan benefits, those are separate from us. So if you have questions about what those premiums are or the changes that were there, you can go to shpnc.org, take off the e-benefits because just shpnc.org is the state health plan's website. NCFlex deductions for our benefits are taken out the month they are for. So the premiums that come out in January are for January coverage, whereas the state health plan premiums, they're going to come out a month ahead. So if you made any changes to your medical plan, those premiums changed in December for January. Ours change in January. And it tells you here you can look at the premium amounts by going to ncflex.org, scrolling down to where the guides and rate sheets box is. And then you'll see sheets for monthly or semi-monthly rates, or you can look in the guide. Our guide only has the monthly rates, but to get the semi-monthly rates, you would just divide it in half. The benefit changes for our benefits this year were just that the dental plan rates changed on all the plans. So you'll see a slight increase in those rates. And of course, if you change dental plans from low to classic or to high, then your premium would change a little bit too. For the healthcare FSA, our annual amount that you're allowed to contribute changed to $3,200 for the year. And the rollover amount changed to $640 going into next year. This year, the rollover amount coming into 2025 was up to $610. If you're looking at your P&A account where your flexible spending account is, you should have two separate line items for the amount you chose for this year, if you chose an amount this year, and then one for a carry forward from last year. For flexible spending accounts, the P&A mobile app did change last year, and now you cannot use the old app. So if you want to go in and look at your account, make sure the app you have is called P&A Group My Benefits, and it is a white background with black lettering and a blue swoosh. The old app, I think, had a blue background. So a little bit more about flexible spending accounts and the reminders. First of all, I'll just mention that we get a lot of questions throughout the year, actually, but probably more in the beginning of the year. Or people ask, can I change the amount I chose? Or I didn't enroll, can I enroll now? Or I want to drop it. If you have a life event, it's possible you can make changes to your amount, like birth, adoption, divorce, death. You possibly could have had a dependent that got other medical coverage. But there's different types of life events that would allow you to make changes. So, but otherwise, if it's just you found out you need more money or you found out you need less money because of a procedure or um, cost changed on something, then we're not allowed to make changes due to that reason. It has to be a life event. The funds that you elected for this year for 2025, if you did elect funds for this year, they are available now. They were available January 1st. The full amount is put into your healthcare FSA account. The dependent daycare FSA is a little different. It's loaded once the deductions are taken from your payroll, and then it's put onto your card or it's in your account so you can file claims on it. So for those that are paid monthly, that dependent daycare FSA money that comes out in January should be in there January 31st, possibly February 1st. Sometimes it takes a day or so for it to load. Sometimes that happens the day of your payroll. The carry forward money for the healthcare FSA, like I said earlier, will be in a separate line item when you're on PNA's website, when you're viewing your account. It is currently called the 2024 carry forward after March 31st, because March 31st is the run out period for last year to file claims for last year. Then after March 31st, it will be called the 2025 carry forward. You can use that carry forward money for all 2025 expenses. It's just that it's held until after March 31st because it's PNA's waiting to see if you file claims on it for last year. Now, if you chose money for 2025 and you swipe your card or you file a claim for 2025, it's going to come out of this year's money first. So be careful if you do use your card to pay for a claim from last year, because it will come out of this year's money and that's technically not allowed. So be careful with paying last year's bills. You want to file those as manual claims. Your carry forward or rollover, we call it both, is available all year, and anything left will combine with 2025 unused funds, and then up to 640 from both accounts can roll into next year. Now, let's say you only have a rollover account this year and you've got $500 in it and you don't touch it all year. It'll still roll into 2026 as long as you're active. For dependent daycare FSA, that one has a grace period, not a rollover. So if you still have money from last year in that account and you file expenses this year through March 15th, it will pull from last year's money first. So it works a little differently, and then it will pull from this year's money. Some more FSA reminders. If your spouse contributes to a health savings account, an HSA, which is different than our HCFSA, you cannot contribute to a healthcare FSA in the same plan year. This does not apply if you are not contributing into an HSA and you just have money in one. If you're not contributing and your spouse is not contributing, this does not apply. It's only if your spouse is contributing currently to a health savings account. A healthcare FSA, you cannot use 2025 funds, which I mentioned on the last slide, for prior year expenses, and you cannot prepay for services. If you do that and PNA catches you, then they could lock your account until you pay that money back. If you have a card that's an FSA card and it has not expired, because you can use those up to 3 years until their expiration date, and you're not issued a new one until they expire. But let's say it's not working when you swipe it. Either you only have a rollover on there, and it may not be available yet because it's not March 31st, or you've used all current year expenses already. But another reason your card doesn't work sometimes is if at some point in the past, PNA asked you to submit documentation to substantiate a claim and you didn't do that. So if your card's not working and it's not expired and you know you have money for this year on there, call P&A and ask them why it doesn't work. And they can tell you if there's a reason. If you still don't understand or they don't give you a reason, please reach out to us. Our email address is ncflex@nc.gov. And I put that email in the chat. You will not receive a new convenience card unless yours is expired. Okay, so beneficiaries can be changed at any time during the year. That does not require a life event. It does not require open enrollment. You can change your NCFlex beneficiaries on the cancer, critical illness, AD&D, and group term life through the enrollment platform. So go to shpnc.org/ebenefits, choose your location. And I'm going to show you some screenshots of what that looks like when you do change those beneficiaries or add them. You may not even have any designated. For university employees, it would just be the NCFlex cancer and critical illness. And then the university system has the term life and AD&D plans located on the Empyrean platform. And that link here shows steps on how beneficiaries are updated online. And I also have a few screenshots for you. It's always good to check those maybe once a year unless nothing's changed and you know that they're good. So on the left-hand side, this is what it looks like in e-benefits for non-university employees. On the right-hand side is what you're going to see if you're a university employee in Empyrean. So for the e-benefits employees over here on the left, when you log in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see benefits and you click on that. For university employees, similar, you click on current benefits. The next screen, the top one is what non-university employees are going to see. You would scroll down to your current benefits. You'll see if there is a person covered, and then who the beneficiaries are. If there's not a beneficiary listed, this edit button will say add instead, and you click that to move forward. You do not want to click edit coverage because that's not what we're doing. Edit coverage is only if you have a life event. Right now, this would just be if you're editing your beneficiaries. Oops. For Empyrean, once you're on the next screen, after clicking current benefits, you'll click the tab that says beneficiaries and then choose change beside any of the beneficiaries that you need to update. This screen shows you what it looks like on the non-university portal on eBenefits. So once you click that you're going to edit or add a beneficiary, you get to this screen, and this is where you can add in people or make changes here. You just want to make sure that your primary is at least 100%, whether you have one or multiple people. You do not have to have a secondary, but if you do, make sure the allocations equal 100%. You do not need social security number for a beneficiary, but the more information you can put in on the person is helpful. Like if you know their address or their phone number, their relationship to you, because if something happens and the vendor is trying to reach out to that person, then it's helpful to know more about them. You can also, on that beneficiaries page, you can also name an estate. If you don't want to name anybody, you can just put estate. Because the way that at least our life insurance and AD&D are set up, and I'm pretty sure cancer, I know critical illness too, and I think cancer, but they're all set up to where if there's not a beneficiary designated, there is an order they go in to who then would get the money. And it might not be the order you would choose. So I think that for the Voya products, it goes spouse, child, parent, sibling. But you may prefer it to go to an estate instead. So just make sure you check that out and put what you want on there. In the eBenefits platform or the non-university platform, once you're done, you just follow the prompts, you click next, save, and once you're done with all your beneficiary changes, you're going to save changes on that next screen. outside of the NCFlex benefits, as far as what you have with the state and your job, some other things you probably want to check out is if you are a teasers participant, your beneficiaries are designated through Orbit. So there's the link to Orbit on here. If you've never logged in, you can register and log in. That's where you're going to see your years of service, your contributions, and depending on how many years of service you have, you may be able to designate a beneficiary online or through a paper form. It just depends. It used to be if you had 10 or more years of service, you had to do a paper form, unless you had to do it online, or you could do it online. I'm not sure what the rules are now. And if you are university and you are ORP, I don't have anything on here about that, but I would check with your HR to see how you set that up or change that with your ORP. And then if you participate in the Empowered plan, an Empowered plan such as the 401k or 457, you'll want to log into your account. You can't do that through the enrollment platform. So you'll want to go directly to your account for Empower and designate beneficiaries there or change them if needed. And that's the link here. And then if you have any other plans through your employer, because some employers have employer-sponsored plans, you may have a disability plan, a cancer plan, an accident plan through a different vendor, and just check with your HR how to designate beneficiaries for those plans. Any questions about, we went through flexible spending accounts and we went through beneficiaries. Any questions about that? And if not, we'll move on to mid-year benefit changes. So if you have a life event. Okay, so outside of open enrollment, when you make changes to your benefits in the middle of the year, that's if you, other than beneficiaries, that's if you've had a life event. We have a list of life events on our website. So does the state health plan. They have a list of life events on hold on, let me skip through real quick. On slide 17, there are links here to our life events and documentation required. So these links are where you would go to find the list of life events that would apply. You'll also see them in the enrollment system when you go in there to choose from, and they'll tell you which benefits you're able to make changes to because of that life event. So when you have a life event happen, you have 30 days from that date to make a change. You log into your enrollment platform. University employees, you log into the Empyrean platform for your NCFlex benefits. There's a step-by-step guide. Non-university employees, you're going to use e-benefits. On the very first page for e-benefits, you'll see, as soon as you log in, you'll see the question, have you experienced a life change that requires you to edit your benefits? You can click get started and it'll guide you through. I'll show you some screenshots. For university employees, when you log into Empyrean, oops, went forward, you'll choose change your current benefits on the very first screen. And then on the next screen, you'll be asked what the reason for your change is and the date of the event. Just a little word of advice here. If you have someone who loses coverage, and let's say they lost coverage December 31st or January 1st, maybe their last day of coverage was December 31st, put in the end of the month. This almost always takes the new date of coverage to the first of the next month. So if you put that they lost coverage January 1st, they won't be added to yours until February 1st. Whereas if you put December 31st, they'll be added to yours January 1st. Now, this is going to require documentation, so someone will be reviewing to see if that date's accurate. But to avoid having to go back in and try to fix that date, you'll always want to use the end of a month typically. Now, birth or adoption, you're going to use the actual day of event. Same thing with marriage, divorce, things like that, death. And when you have a birth or adoption, most of the plans are going to be effective on the date of birth or adoption. So if you're planning to have a child, or you adopt a child, the date that happens, like if you chose healthcare FSA for that day, then you can use that healthcare FSA money that you increase it to or put in there for that birth, or for that child that you adopt immediately on that day. This is a similar screen, but it's just in the Empyrean platform for university employees of what you'll see. And there's a list of qualifying life events that you would choose from. For most life events, you will need to upload documentation within 30 days showing the proof of that event. These are links to show you what documentation is required, and what it'll list the life events as well. Same thing with State Health Plan. They have a list of required documentation for dependent eligibility. The State Health Plan on their document lists what you need to verify a dependent also. We do not require that at this time, but the State Health Plan does. So just pay attention to that. Otherwise, a lot of our documentation requirements line up with the State Health Plan. So you should just be able to upload the same documents if you're making changes to both our plans and the State Health Plan. Any questions about life events? So the next topic is wellness benefit reminders. We mentioned this during multiple employee sessions throughout the year because it's just a good way to remind you you can get money for things, for doing wellness screenings that you're probably doing anyways, and you may not remember that you have this benefit. It is included on our accident, critical illness, and cancer plans. They are 3 separate plans. These are 3 separate wellness benefits. But the accident and critical illness wellness benefit are both under Voya. And then the cancer wellness benefit is through Allstate. You'll see where beside where it says if it's through Voya or Allstate, it also gives you a little bit more information. Like with our accident and critical illness, there is a time limit to file those claims of 180 days or the end of the plan year, whichever is later. But Voya does not require documentation. Allstate does have a documentation requirement, but that they do not have a time limit. And in the chat, I'm going to put the link to the flyers for these wellness benefits in case you've never done them or you're thinking, I need to do it for this year. I've already had a screening. So the Allstate and the Voya flyers are currently in the chat for you. Each plan allows one wellness benefit payout per year, no matter the number of screenings per covered person. So me personally, I have all 3 plans. So if I go and have like a mammogram done, then I could file my wellness benefit on all 3 plans because that is on all 3. Whereas if I have a routine dental exam, that's only on my accident and my critical illness plans. The cancer plan, though, does have some other like lipid panel and things like that. Chest x-ray, pap smear, but the accident and critical illness are the same, under the same product, so their screenings are the same. If you have multiple plans, like I said, you can file for a wellness benefit on each plan. Each plan is independent and has its own wellness benefit, although they are sometimes the same or similar. Flyers can be found on our website, and I've also posted them in the chat. But again, remember, cancer plan does not have a time limit. So if you've never filed that, try to file it if you can get documentation from prior years where you've had a screening done that's on the list. And you can find a link to Allstate's website in our e-benefits portal. It's under quick links, and I think I have a screenshot of that. So if you don't know how to log into your account, you can do that directly from the quick links. And Screening should still be filed on your medical plan. So even though a lot of these things, like a mammogram, for instance, is typically covered by insurance, you would still get a wellness benefit on that. Yes, so you can only get the wellness payout one time per person per year. That's correct. But if you have multiple plans, you can get one per plan. So I have all three plans. I can get three wellness benefits on myself per year. I can get three on my spouse, three on my children each. And another thing I don't have listed here before I move on, as a reminder, our critical illness plan also has what they call an infectious disease benefit rider. It's basically if you get diagnosed with COVID, it has to be by a medical professional. You have to have some kind of documentation of it. They do pay $100 benefit once per year per covered person due to a COVID diagnosis. So if you get diagnosed with COVID, just keep that in the back of your mind. If you need to know how to file it, reach out to us. We can explain how to do that. So Laura, both screening and diagnostic mammograms covered. Typically, diagnostic. Uh, as far as insurance goes, I think it just depends on how it's filed. But either way, you still file it through insurance. And as far as the wellness benefit, the mammogram is one of the qualifying wellness screenings for a wellness benefit. And so is a pap smear, but you couldn't get paid for both. Any other questions about the wellness benefit? Moving on to the 1099s, we have two plans, our critical illness and accident plan through Voya that do send out a 1099 if you have a payout of $600 or greater from the prior year. And that is combined. And this could be like for critical illness and accident, both have wellness benefits. So let's say you filed wellness benefits on both plans. I don't know that you could, depending on how many people are in your family, you could possibly get up to $600 from both plans, but you'd have to file it on everyone for multiple people. But you could have had just a small claim, or with critical illness, the claims are a little bit larger because they're paying out for a diagnosis and they're in a lump sum. But if you did receive a payout of $600 or greater last year, you'll be receiving a 1099 from Voya to file with your taxes. They will mail those out by January 31st. If you have questions about how to file these on your taxes, please contact a tax professional because in some cases, your medical bills may be able to offset some of the money you receive from the plans if you paid out of pocket without an FSA. Someone asked, so my doctor said I could get a colonoscopy also, but never ordered it. Did he not tell me that I could only get a mammogram? I'm not sure what the question means. Tell me I could only get a mammogram. I think when it comes to the actual screenings and them being covered, I would talk to the state health plans third-party administrator Aetna on what's covered, but typically stuff like preventative screening is covered at no cost. I know Linda's typing something there. I think it depends on your age and if they file it as diagnostic or preventative. Moving on to the next topic, these are some helpful benefit websites and contacts. Again, these slides are linked in the chat. They were sent out to you today in the reminder email. So use those to get to these links if you need them, or you can write these down. But many benefit questions can be answered by your HR department. If you don't know who your HR contact is, reach out to us and we can give you a contact. The retirement systems website, myncretirement.com, they have handbooks on there about how your retirement works, what qualifies you for retirement, what qualifies you for medical insurance at retirement. They also have recorded webinars and upcoming webinars under member education. Slides in the comments. Jennifer, I'll put that link for the slides in the as a reply. Oops. Oh, I think Cindy got it. Okay. Oh, maybe not. I'll put the link to the slides again in the comments. I wonder if you maybe came after I posted it. It might not be there for you. Someone posted again in the comments. Someone asked, do we still have my group for EAP services now that insurance changed for 2025? Aetna is not related to our EAP services. And I'm not 100% sure who our EAP is through at this point, but I'm sure once it's decided, it will be announced by your HR staff. But it's not related to Aetna. That's separate. The State Health Plan's website is shpnc.org. They do have a contact us button, and you'll be able to find information on how to contact Aetna if you have specific questions about about claims or what's covered under that plan, depending on what you have, 80, 20, 70, 30. They also have a section for employee benefits, which has benefit books and rate sheets. And then Empower's website for the 401k or 457 is also listed there at the bottom, where you can view your account or sign up if you're interested in signing up for an account. Some more helpful websites or contacts is SHIP, SHIIP. They're through the North Carolina Department of Insurance. They are a good place to go if you have questions about Medicare and how maybe you're becoming eligible for Medicare or a family member is, and you're wondering how that's going to relate to other benefits you have, then they're a good place to go. They also have some long-term care insurance resources. So for people who are looking for long-term care insurance, then they have some information on their website. Some supplemental benefit options after retirement. So if you are planning to retire soon in the near future or later, currently we have a flyer on our website just about our benefits and what can be continued and how it's continued. There's some more Q&A on there as well, and there's the link. Pierce Insurance is who contracts with the retirement system. Their website is ncretiree.com. So when you do retire, you'll be offered insurance through them, medical, vision, and I think they have a theft protection. It's called ID theft, I think. But that's an option too. When you retire, you can go with them, or you can continue ours through Cobra and then go with them later. There's the North Carolina Retired Governmental Employees Association. The ncrgea.com is the website. And if you become a member of them, they are similar to Scenic. If you know who Scenic is, where they advocate for state employees, the NCRGEA advocates for retirees. And if you become a member, they have insurance as well. So you may want to just compare what different products they have and what vendors they use. If you're planning to retire and you think, well, what dental insurance should I go with? Maybe ask your dentist which insurance they take. You can look at these websites and see who their vendor is for their dental. Our website is ncflex.org. It has benefits or information on all of our benefits, including certificates, claim forms, contact information for vendors, and you can also contact us directly by emailing us. Okay. And then just some NCFlex common benefit questions. How do I access my FSA account? So if you want to see your balance or you need to file a manual claim, you can go to ncflex.padmin.com on a desktop or any smart device. You can use the PNA Group My Benefits mobile app. In the enrollment system, you can go under Quick Links and choose PNA Group. That links you directly to your account without logging in. You can call PNA directly and get your account balance or ask questions about your account. What are some eligible healthcare FSA items and where can I find a list? So out-of-pocket dental, vision, medical expenses, over-the-counter medicines, acupuncture, diabetic supplies. This is for you, your spouse, your qualifying children under age 26, or another qualifying relative over age 26 if they're, depending on the definition by the IRS of who's a qualifying relative for the FSA money. You can view the NCFlex sample list of FSA eligible expenses on our website or view the eligibility tool on the FSAstore.com. If you search the FSAstore.com, you can look for ideas on over-the-counter eligible items as well as other medical supplies. You don't have to shop from them. You can use your card on there if you want to, your FSA card, or you can just get ideas by going to their website. How do I file a claim? That could be on all of our benefits. If you go to our website, ncflex.org, click on the tile of the benefit you need to file a claim for, look for claims information, and there should be information on each page on how to file claims. Each individual page also has contact information for the vendor if you need to reach out to them. How long do I have to file a claim? Some of our benefits, such as the accident plan, do have limits listed in the certificate, but try to file even if the time has passed. I think accident is 18 months. For FSAs, March 31st of the following year is always the deadline to file for the previous year. For accident and critical illness wellness claims, we mentioned this earlier, you want to file those in the same calendar year as the test occurred or 6 months from the end of the calendar year, whichever is later. For the cancer plan, there is no limit for both a cancer claim or a wellness claim. How do I get a new ID card? That should say, do I get? For dental and vision, some people ask about that, or for the convenience card for FSA. But for dental and vision, for both accounts, you can log into your account online or call MetLife for iMed. There's the websites there on the page for dental and for vision, how you log in. And then you can call the vendor and ask for a card. You don't have to have a card to visit a provider, but sometimes people like the cards, and so that's how you would request a new one. If you lose your convenience card, your FSA card, or you want to order a card for your spouse or child 18 or over, you can log directly into your PNA account and request that. You can email us and we'll help you, or you can call PNA. This is the quick links I referred to that's in eBenefits portal. If you log into your eBenefits portal, you'll see this on the very first page. You've got a link to Allstate if you have the cancer plan, iMed for vision, MetLife for dental, PNA for FSAs. They also have the Aetna member portal now. So for your medical plan, you can click that and put in some information to log in to your new Aetna portal. And they still have Blue Connect for the Blue Cross Blue Shield benefits from last year. So I think this is the last one I have. If you want to see an eye provider and it hasn't been exactly 12 months from your last visit, do you have to wait? And the answer is no. So for benefits such as dental and vision, your yearly or semi-yearly exams do not have to be separated by 12 months or by 6 months for dental cleanings. For eye exams, for instance, you get one per calendar year. So if you want to go in December and then January, that's fine. Same thing with dental, you get two cleanings per calendar year. Doesn't matter how far apart they are. You just get two per calendar year. And then what is imputed income? We've got more information on our website, which is linked there under that question that you can read about. But basically, when you have life insurance that exceeds $50,000, which if you participate in teasers, you have a death benefit after 1 year. So it could be easy to exceed the 50,000 on life insurance. Because our plans do come out pre-tax, when you have more than $50,000 in life insurance, we are required to tax the premiums for the amount over $50,000. So imputed income is like a fake line item on your check, which allows taxes to come out on that line item to come out of that certain amount of premiums. That's a really short way to explain what it is, but if you do have questions about it, you can reach out to us. You can read this document to find out more. And that's all I have. So let me know if you have other questions. And we'll stay on for a few more minutes. I'm going to share my webpage with you real quick and just show you those quick links. Let's see, that I keep talking about because they're just one of my favorite things. Okay, thank you, Jana. So this is when we're in the e-benefits portal. This is non-university employees use this for NCFlex and Stay Health Plan, and university employees, you use this portal for the Stay Health Plan. So you still have it. But under quick links, you'll see, and I don't know, these quick links you'll also find for university employees in your Empyrean platform. They're just a little different. I think they're at the bottom of the page. But like if you click on P&A flexible spending accounts, it'll take you directly to your FSA account. You don't have to enter any login information there. And then here you could file a claim or look at your account balance. Let's see. Well, same thing with like if I wanted to go into my cancer plan and file a wellness claim, I'll just go straight to that link. And this is nice too, let's say like because I went to the eye doctor a couple weeks ago. I got glasses, I used my FSA card, and now I need to upload documentation to show what I paid for. And typically what P&A wants is an EOB or explanation of benefits. So I would go to my iMed, my vision portal. It looks like it logged me out. But I'd go to my vision portal, go to claims, find my EOB, and then I can go back to my P&A site and upload it. So it's a place to do everything in regards to like filing claims from one vendor to the next. So when you're filing that vision claim through FSA, you've got all the portals right there and you don't have to log in. All right, it doesn't look like we have any more questions, but if you guys have any afterwards, you can find us at NCFlex at nc.gov. You can also go to our website and we have multiple places to reach out to us at any time. I hope everybody has a great day and enjoys the weather. Thank you.